I come from pretty humble beginnings. Yeah, we didn't have much, but we always had what we needed.
Life can kick your ass if you let it. Let me say that again. Life can kick your ass if you let it. The choice belongs to you.
Till I was about 12 years old, it was just me, my mom, my sister, and we moved around a lot from kindergarten to seventh grade. We moved like 6 times. I went to 7 different schools. My sister was 5 years older than me, so she was never really around. And I guess I just got used to losing my friends every year. You know, it became normal to be alone.
The advice I want to offer you today are from lessons learned the hard way. Because some of the shit that I went through, I wouldn't wish on anyone.
I was molested a few times by a family member from, I don't know, about 7 to 9 years old.
One of the greatest gifts that we've been given in this life is the power to choose from an infinite number of possibilities all around us.
I never really chose to confront them or told anybody in my family. I mean, by the time I remembered what had really happened, I was much older. I was already going through kind of my own personal transformation, so it just seemed unnecessary and pointless to bring it up.
You can choose where to go, what to do, who to see, what to say, what to think, and what to feel. Those are powerful choices. And we make them every second. And the most powerful one of all, choosing to forgive yourself and those around you.
By the time I hit high school, our neighborhood, my school, full of gangs. I got bullied a lot in school for my clothes, my hair, whatever. My stepdad was a cop, and I remember the first time that we got robbed. I walked into the house. Things are tossed all over the place. There's this big picture of him in his uniform hanging in the hallway. And as we're walking through the house, I realize it's kicked sideways, kind of like a ha-ha. And I just remember sitting there staring at this thing, and I overheard him and my mom talking, and him saying that he didn't think that we'd ever probably find our stuff. And I think at that moment, it's when I made my first big self-destructive life decision.
In my misspent youth, I robbed people, houses, businesses, dealt drugs, vandalized property and cars. I watched a gang-affiliated friend get stabbed in a schoolyard fight in 8th grade. Saw another get his head repeatedly bashed into a concrete pillar in 10th grade. And up until my mid-20s, I did a lot of things that I should either be in jail for or dead because of. All while hiding behind this veil of a good, clean-cut Christian boy.
I was about probably 24, 25 when I finally pulled my head out of my ass and stopped blaming my circumstances, stopped blaming my parents, stopped blaming where I came from or the people that did things to me in the past. Once I did that, my life really began to change rapidly for the better. But some of the changes that were coming I didn't see at the time, and I really wasn't prepared for them.
You can't control a damn thing outside of you. You can't control what other people say or do or think or feel. So why do you spend so much time worrying about these things? You say, well, what will my friends think of me? Who cares? They're thinking the same thing they've always thought. They're just not telling you. Focus on what you can control. Turn your focus inside.
Well, when I look back on different times in my life, it amazes me how many different situations and circumstances I thought at the time were just life-altering. And when I look back on them now, they really weren't that big of a deal, and I just had so much time spent with wasted energy on these things.
And just after my 18th birthday, I found myself sitting in my car with a loaded gun in my hands. And just after I pulled the trigger, and for a brief moment, it was pure silence. And then there was this ringing in my ear. I wasn't sure if I was dead or still alive, but then I realized the gun never fired.
Well, what's really crazy is I don't even remember her name, and yet I was ready to give up my life because of the failure that I felt that I was and the loss that I was feeling. At the time in my life, I really felt like a fuck up. I felt like I couldn't do anything right. Why would anybody want me around? You know, it was kind of like my attitude. I seemed like I was always in trouble, either at home or at school, and just felt like the world was against me. You know, very poor me. You know, in reality, the truth is, I allowed myself to become depressed. I allowed myself to hurt as if my world was ending.
It's not my place to tell other people what to think. My only goal is to teach you how to think and show you just how powerful and important you really are and how much each of you truly matter to the world.
I mean, what good are modern scientific breakthroughs if we're not actually going to use the information that we're learning to improve our lives? I mean, over the last 30 years, there's been so many different advancements and studies that have proven that we're not at the will of some ominous master plan that we have no control over. It's not fate, it's choice. And it's what we choose to think and feel and what actions we choose to take.
It's okay to feel alone. It's okay to feel unappreciated. It's okay to feel sad at times. But it is not okay to live in those feelings for an extended period of time. Every minute that you choose to spend in that frame of mind, that's another 50 billion cells in your body being created and coded with those feelings and thoughts.
I think when you finally understand exactly how your mind operates and you really start to exercise control over it, things improve drastically, and you finally see just how much we're all connected and how much we're all in this together.
As you go back out into this world today, remember this. Inside each and every one of you are millions of sparks of inspiration and opportunity. In this life, it is your job to choose one of those sparks and turn it into a flame of possibility. And when you do, it becomes your responsibility to care for that flame, to grow it, nurture it, feed it, and protect it. And just like a wildfire, as this flame grows and grows inside of you, it'll begin to burn so bright that people will see it for miles around. It'll begin to burn so hot that it refuses to be put out. It'll burn so fast that it won't be contained. It'll burn so strong that it can't be stopped. And when your dream becomes a wall of fire, the world will reduce itself to ash at your feet, allowing your dream to take root. It'll create space for your dream to grow. It will reshape the landscape for hundreds of miles and make room for your dream to dominate. So go out into this world and let your wildfire burn.